Well, Jake, I mean, it's a pretty intense scene inside there. Michael Cohen is addressing the court right now. He just walked through how he committed 8 counts, including tax evasion on his personal income taxes, giving a false statement to a bank, and then critically, he just described how he violated campaign finance laws 2 ways, both involving, one of those involving a Karen McDougal payment, and the other one, the Stormy Daniels payment. Now, he did not identify either woman by name, but it was clear from the evidence, the $150,000 payment and the $130,000 payment. Now, specifically, when asked by the judge to describe the crime, Michael Cohen said, in coordination and at the direction of the candidate for federal office, he had made these payments. So he is implicating Donald Trump in this, although not specifically by name. So we just heard that. I ran out of the courtroom. Michael Cohen is still answering questions by the judge, who is running through the process here, informing him of his rights. And we also learned that as part of this agreement, he's agreed to a prison term, although the judge is not bound by this, but of between just under 4 years and 5 years in prison. But the judge will sentence him later at a future date, so this could change, but that is the agreement between the prosecutor's office and Michael Cohen and his attorneys, Jake.
All right, well, that's stunning news. Kara, let me ask you, I mean, just first of all, to underline, you said that when Michael Cohen pleaded guilty to campaign finance laws violations, he was referring to Stormy Daniels, and he said he did it, quote, in coordination with and at the direction of a candidate for federal office, which specifically could only be President Trump. That is stunning news. You said something else about a different campaign finance charge before that. Can you repeat that?
Well, one of those also had to do with the payment that was made to Karen McDougal. He said that he had worked with the media company, which we know is American Media, the publisher of the National Enquirer, to craft this deal. And he, again, in that payment also mentioned at the direction and with coordination of the candidate for office, who could only be Donald Trump. So both of those, the Karen McDougal one, he did also mention the media company, although they have not been charged with anything. Neither has, of course, the president. But in both instances, the first one having to do with Karen McDougal, he said in coordination and at the direction of candidate Trump and with American Media. And then the second Stormy Daniels payment, he said also again in coordination and at the direction of President Trump, who is then the candidate, Jake.
All right, Kara, now that's stunning news. Let me bring in Preet Bharara, former U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. What does this mean for President Trump? You have his former campaign fixer pleading guilty to campaign finance laws and saying that he did so in coordination with and at the direction of President Trump. And both of these are hush money payments, one to a former Playboy Playmate of the Year, the other one to a porn star and director. What does that mean for President Trump?
That's extraordinary and stunning, as you just said. I didn't expect it to be quite as local and direct and clear as what Kara just described. I think that's terrible news for President Trump. I'm still surprised, given that allocution is open federal court, that there's not a cooperation agreement. But it may be that they have what they need, and the information will be provided, obviously, to the special counsel, and will be in whatever report he prepares for the Deputy Attorney General and for further distribution to Congress. But I agree that is a big deal. You don't hear that kind of thing with that kind of specificity about someone in that seat of power during a guilty plea allocution, which, by the way, is done under oath. All the things that he said that allow the judge to accept the guilty plea in federal court is done under oath.
And is there legal exposure for President Trump, or Justice Department guidelines are a sitting president cannot be indicted, and that's the end of that?
Well, there's something called impeachment. If there's evidence of a crime, and in particular the Constitution provides high crime or misdemeanor. Again, I want to caution folks, I didn't attend the hearing. I don't know all the details. I don't know everything that was said. But based on what was just described, it sounded like Michael Cohen was directly implicating his former boss, his client, the president, in a federal crime.
Let me bring in Jeffrey Toobin, our senior legal correspondent. Jeffrey, campaign finance violations, Rudy Giuliani poo-pooed them a few months ago, saying it's just generally a small fine, not that big a deal. Obviously, other people have been sentenced to jail for campaign finance violations. It depends on the individual case. It depends on the individual judge. What's your reaction to this news?
Jake, this is news of immense significance. Here you have a now convicted felon, Michael Cohen, an admitted felon, saying that his co-conspirator and/or his aider and abetter was the President of the United States. I mean, that is something that is, I think, basically without precedent in American history. I don't even think that happened during Watergate, that someone pled guilty and said the sitting president was a co-conspirator. Now, it is true that there are Justice Department guidelines that say a president cannot be indicted. That is something that Robert Mueller has certainly apparently agreed to follow. But this crime could be prosecuted after Donald Trump leaves office. This crime could be referred to Congress as a high crime and misdemeanor. But the fact that we have a admitted felon saying that the sitting president of the United States was his co-conspirator in this felony is a pretty extraordinary piece of news.
Since a sitting president cannot be indicted, at least according to Justice Department guidelines, this does become, as Jeffrey Preet suggested, a political matter, which would mean that the current Congress or the next Congress, which may in fact be a Democratic House, we don't know, perhaps even a Democratic Senate, though I doubt it, that it becomes a political discussion. If President Trump broke finance laws, campaign finance laws, in having hush money paid in one form or another,